Picture your usual Sunday grocery run. Same cart, same store.
Same cart, same store, but the total is $40 higher somehow.
You didn't buy more. Nothing changed. Except everything actually did. Coffee peaked at 33% above year-ago prices. BLS data, July 2025.
Ground beef now averages $6.70 a pound, up nearly 20% year over year. Cocoa prices hit a record $12,600 per ton, a generational supply crisis. These aren't coincidences. They're all hitting at the same time. And here's what most people haven't connected yet, but should. What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today's video is a practical one. We're breaking down the 10 foods hit hardest. Each cause is different. Not to stress you out, just to help you get ahead. People who know what's coming shop way smarter than everyone else. Drop a comment. Which city are you watching from today? New York City, Houston, Chicago, LA? Prices genuinely differ a lot by region. Before the list, you need to understand what's actually happening. Suez Canal traffic sat 60% below 2023 levels as of early 2026. Ships rerouting around Africa add 7 to 12 extra days per trip. Each rerouted ship racks up $400,000 in extra fuel and logistics costs. The Panama Canal cut transits 29% in 2024. Drought effects still linger. Layer on sweeping U.S. tariffs that hit nearly every country last year. A 10% baseline duty now applies to virtually every imported item. Here's the thing. Grocery stores stockpiled before tariffs hit. Smart. But those buffers are running out. Prices are starting to move. USDA confirmed food prices rose 2.9% overall across all of 2025. The Fed's March 2026 report puts tariff-driven goods inflation at 3.1%. All right, let's get into the countdown, starting with number 10. Number 10 is Italian imported pasta. This one actually surprised us. Brands like Garofalo and La Molisana face a combined 107% tariff. That's a 15% EU base rate plus a 91.74% anti-dumping duty stacked. For shoppers, that math could literally double the price of authentic pasta. Importers stockpiled like crazy, but those reserves are almost gone now. Shopping at Whole Foods or specialty grocers? You're probably seeing it already. New York, Boston, and San Francisco have the most imported pasta shoppers. Pasta lover in those cities? Time to start tracking those price tags. That $4 Garofalo box could easily be an $8 box before year end. Number 9 is orange juice. Stings extra if you're from Florida. Florida's orange crop took hits from disease, drought, and back-to-back storms. Brazil was the backup plan, until the U.S. slapped a 50% tariff. That move is projected to push OJ prices up another 6 to 10%. Tropicana and Simply Orange are quietly reworking their sourcing strategies right now. Miami and Tampa, cities built on orange culture, feel it most. When exactly did OJ stop being a grocery staple and become a treat? For a lot of households, that quiet shift already happened gradually. Number 8 is imported cheese and butter, specifically the European stuff. French brie, Italian Parmigiano, New Zealand butter, all facing 15% tariffs. Some specialty cheeses are quietly disappearing from Trader Joe's shelves already. Fewer varieties on the shelf? Not a supply glitch, it's economics. Chicago's West Loop and LA's Silver Lake food scenes feel it first. Portland and Austin, where imported food culture matters most, are exposed. Premium imported butter has quietly crossed $10 per pound in some markets. If you bake with European-style butter regularly, your grocery bill already knows. Number 7. Wine and beer imports. Your bar tab just got tariffed. Italian, French, and Spanish wines now face 15 to 20% import tariffs. Modelo and Corona, America's top 2 beers, both come from Mexico. USMCA kept them safe, but that deal is up for renegotiation. San Diego and Phoenix are among the biggest Modelo markets in America. Nashville, New York, and Miami wine scenes absorb European tariff hits quietly. Restaurants pass it through wine list markups, not through the headlines. Number 6 is olive oil. This one has a really layered backstory. Italy supplies 40% of America's olive oil. Spain covers another 30%. Back-to-back bad harvest across the Mediterranean already squeezed global supply. At a 15% EU tariff, Italian brands can face a 107% hit. Filippo Berrio, that cost $8, is now creeping toward $14 in stores. Seattle, Denver, and San Francisco feel it hardest. It's a weekly staple. Good news. California domestic olive oil has genuinely improved in quality lately. Costco's volume buying still offers real price insulation. Worth knowing now. Number 5 is fresh produce from Mexico and Canada. Timing is key. About 63% of America's fresh imported produce comes from Mexico and Canada. Avocados, tomatoes, limes, bell peppers, the backbone of American grocery shopping. Right now, USMCA protections shield most of these from heavy tariff exposure. USMCA is up for renegotiation in July 2026. That's genuinely not far away. Trump called it a transitional deal, leaving the outcome genuinely open. If protections shift, avocado prices in LA, Phoenix, and Austin move fast. Texas border cities like Laredo handle billions in produce shipments every year. Taco nights, smoothie bowls, farmers market runs, all worth watching closely. Quick check-in, halfway through. Which item surprised you most so far? Which food hits your budget hardest? Drop it in the comments below. Coastal city or Midwest? Pricing genuinely plays out very differently by region. All right, into the top 5. This is where the numbers get real. Number 4 is imported seafood. Shrimp, salmon, tilapia, and a lot more. Canada supplies shrimp and salmon, now facing tariffs of 10 to 25%. Chinese origin tilapia and shrimp face triple-digit tariffs due to the trade war. USDA officially flags seafood as rising faster than the 20-year average. Boston, New Orleans, Seattle, seafood isn't a luxury there, it's a lifestyle. That shrimp cocktail at your regular spot? Quietly becoming a pricier habit. Even Kansas City and Columbus notice the seafood aisle quietly shifting now. Watch your package sizes. They shrink before the sticker price officially rises. That's shrinkflation, and the seafood aisle is running that play hardest. Number 3 is chocolate, primarily a climate story, not a tariff one. Cocoa hit an all-time record of $12,600 per ton in December 2024. That's nearly 5 times the 10-year historical average before 2023. Ivory Coast and Ghana supply roughly 65% of the world's cocoa beans. Ivory Coast faces 21% tariff. Ecuador, another key source, faces 10%. USDA. Sugar and sweets, including most chocolate, are up 8.1% YOY. Hershey and major candy makers announced double-digit price hikes going into 2026. Halloween candy budgets in Chicago and Philadelphia quietly got a lot heavier. Valentine's Day in New York? Expect sticker shock at every chocolate tier. Cocoa prices have since fallen, but retail chocolate prices lag behind. Climate shifts are disrupting growing seasons in ways that won't reverse quickly. This isn't just a tariff problem, it's a multi-year supply story. Commodity prices recover, but retail prices lag 6 to 9 months behind. Number 2 is beef, driven by the cattle supply cycle, not tariffs. Ground beef hit $6.70 per pound, a record 19.3% jump year over year. Steak is up another 8% on top of steady climbing since 2022. America's cattle herd has shrunk every consecutive year since 2019. Fewer cattle, ongoing drought, rising feed costs, a compounding supply crunch. Steel and aluminum tariffs raise the cost of equipment ranchers use daily. Those costs flow right downstream to the price of your burger. Cornell and Ohio State confirmed all 50 states feel these tariff effects. Nebraska and Kansas, cattle country, are squeezed from both sides simultaneously. Domestic herds shrink while China simultaneously halved its U.S. agricultural purchases. From $12 billion to $5.5 billion in U.S. ag exports, 1 year. Texas BBQ culture, Kansas City steakhouses, everyone is navigating this together. If you buy ground beef weekly, you've already felt that math shift. Here's the thing nobody's saying. These aren't all the same problem. Beef is supply. Cocoa was climate. Coffee was tariffs, now largely removed. A tariff is signed. A ship reroutes. A harvest fails. You pay more. None of this is inevitable or permanent. Supply chains genuinely do adapt. The question is whether you're shopping with that knowledge or without it. J.P. Morgan. U.S. consumers absorb about 55% of all tariff costs now. By late 2026, that share hits 70%, per Federal Reserve modeling. Lower-income households spend 30% on food. They feel every shift most. Walmart says households earning $50,000 are making smaller, more deliberate purchases now. That's a real behavioral shift, worth understanding exactly why it's happening. Key timing piece. Food tariff impacts lag 12 to 18 months typically. April 2025's big tariffs are only now fully flowing through to shelves. Stores absorbed costs through 2025. That buffer is essentially exhausted heading in. Being informed right now, May 2026, is genuinely valuable consumer timing. All right, number 1, you caught the teaser. Now let's go deep. Number 1 is coffee. The full story is richer than you think. Coffee ground roast peaked at 33% above year-ago prices. BLS, July 2025. U.S. coffee shipments from Brazil dropped over 80% year-over-year by August 2025. That's from Vizion's shipping data platform. Logged container data, not estimates. The U.S. hit Brazil with a 50% tariff, our biggest coffee supplier. Colombia faces 10% tariff too. It supplies 20% of America's coffee. Coffee tariffs have since been removed, but retail prices still lag. Here's where it gets genuinely layered. It's not just about tariffs. Brazil and Vietnam, the two biggest producers, both suffered severe droughts. Production was already squeezed before tariffs added another layer on top. Seattle, America's coffee capital, watches prices climb literally every week. Portland, Nashville, and New York's third-wave scene absorb hit after hit. Atlanta and Dallas diner coffee? Quietly, steadily getting pricier month by month. Roasters locked in high prices in 2025. Those contracts don't reset quickly. It shows up as higher prices, smaller sizes, honestly, usually both together. Already buying whole beans at the store? You've noticed the price ticking. Haven't felt it yet? Give it a few months. The lag's moving. So what do you actually do with all this? Let's get practical. For coffee, buy beans in bulk when prices dip. Store them airtight. For beef, ground pork or chicken fills weeknight gaps as prices widen. For imported goods, Costco and Sam's Club buffer prices through bulk volume. For produce, local farmers markets have shorter chains, less tariff exposure. For olive oil, California domestic brands have genuinely leveled up lately. For chocolate, stocking mid-tier brands before the holiday surge is smart. Here's the honest framing. No single crisis caused all of this. Shipping disruptions, tariffs, climate shifts, labor issues, all hitting simultaneously. Commodity prices are already recovering. Retail prices follow with a lag. USDA says grocery inflation is slowing, but specific items are still up. Not a collapse, a delayed pass-through of costs absorbed through 2025. Industry absorbed costs through 2025. That protection is now mostly gone. When Amazon, Walmart, and Target adjust prices, every other retailer follows. But knowing this puts you in a genuinely solid position over most shoppers. You can substitute smarter time purchases and avoid being blindsided at checkout. That's the whole point. Useful information before it becomes completely obvious. We want to hear from you. Your answer shapes what comes next. Which of these 10 foods hits your household budget hardest right now? coastal city where imports dominate, or Midwest where beef rules the table. Food inflation in LA plays very differently than it does in Des Moines. Drop your city and biggest grocery pain point in the comments below. We're building a follow-up video on regional food price differences across America. Your comment helps us report more accurately on what's hitting your community. Also, what should we dig into next? Dairy? Canned goods? Fast food? We read every single comment. It shapes what we build next here. If this helped you think through your grocery budget, please share it. Subscribe if you haven't. We cover supply chain and consumer economics weekly. Ring the bell. Our USMCA renegotiation breakdown is dropping very soon. That deal could shift avocado, tomato, and beer prices across the country. You'll want to know before July 2026 hits and prices start shifting. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Stay sharp, everyone.